What's good, YouTube? What's good? Buffalo J. What's good? Archer. What's good? Thank you for tuning in. Okay, all right. I see it. I see it. Well, in tonight's life, I'll probably end up pissing a lot of fucking people. And I'll probably lose a few subscribers. Buffalo J said, "What's going on, brother?" A lot of stuff. Stay tuned. I'm about to talk about it. Um, Let me just jump into it. So, hold up. There are a lot of racist channels pretending. Absolutely. Oh, to be me, yeah. Oh, absolutely. What's good, Red? Yeah, there's a lot of imposters, but there's only one. There's only one. I sound like Public Enemy. One. There's only one Davy VTV right here. What's good, Coach Sean? Clinton Avenue in the house, 585. What's good, my brother? What's good, Coach Sean? I remember you. I'm about to do the most ghetto thing that I've probably ever done out here. But I guarantee you no one. What's good, Davey? 413 checking in. What's good? What's good, Massachusetts, right? I hope I ain't screw that one up. What's good, Christopher? About to do probably the most ghetto thing I ever did on Davey VTV Live. But I assure you that nobody drinks out of a bottle once I drink out of it. So I'm about to take this straight. No disrespect to anyone. Too lazy to get up. Yes, Massachusetts, bro. No doubt. I remember. See that? I remember. I remember the love. Massachusetts love. 413 all day. Big shout out to Mass. 907 here. Okay, you going to mess me up with that one. 907 is... Let me know. You don't got to let me know your city, but let me know where you at. Alaska. Oh, wow. Thank you for tuning in. I think that's the first. Used to drink Mountain Dew out the 2 liter. My man Red said he used to drink Mountain Dew out of the 2 liter. How you doing? Shout out. Wow, Alaska. I believe that's the first. You got me stuttering over here. That's exciting. Thank you so much. I always say thanks to each and every one of you for tuning in. Literally, you're taking your time out. Rochester, New York, what's good? Hannah. Yep. Been watching for a while. Just never catch it live. We are 4 hours difference from Alaska. 4 hours? Okay, I didn't know that. Social studies and geography wasn't my strong point in school. Good evening from Florida. What's up, Leslie? How you doing, man? How's the weather in Florida? Go ahead, rub it in. Go ahead, I'll be quiet. Rub it in. Tell me how sunny it is today. Tell me how beautiful it was. All right, I'm about to jump into this. Hey, well, 77 and rainy. Okay. I'm just messing with you, Les. I remember one day I went on and I'm like, it's a beautiful day in Rochester. And Leslie was like, it's sunny and 82 or whatever in Florida. And I'm like, thanks, Les. Thanks for rubbing that in. 3 hours different from Arizona, 106 degrees. Damn. Same as here, haha. Oh, yeah, exactly. Right, Red. Rainy too. Haha, yep. Leslie said, yep. She laughing too. That's probably the only times that Rochester, how do I say it? Rochester weather sucks so bad. And Leslie knows this. And I know Red knows this. Coach Sean, you still on? Coach Sean from Clinton? I know y'all know this. Rochester, New York weather sucks so bad that that's probably the only time that Rochester, New York weather, Arizona, Alaska. That's why I left. Arizona's 68 and beautiful today. Yep. Um, how do I say this? So Rochester weather is so ass, sucks so bad that this is probably the only time that it's the same as Florida weather. When Florida's rainy, that's about the only similarity there. Rochester, listen, it's my hometown. You know what I mean? I don't know if Red's gonna get mad or Coach Sean or excuse me, but it's my hometown. You know what I mean? And it's always gonna be home. But Florida's my adopted hometown. For those that don't know, I know. I'm sorry. Listen, man. It's like this. I can't. You have no idea how many emails I don't reply to, and I apologize. If I reply to all the emails and all the messages and all the tips that I get, I would never get anything done. As it is, I'm a one-man show. I'm not the biggest tech person. I have no support from anybody. I'm the type of person that I don't want to go on a rant here, but somebody asked me if I remembered that I never returned their email, and I apologize. You know what I mean? I'm a one-man show, and it's been like that, and there's a reason for that. And actually, I'm going to get to why I'm a one-man show, and the whole point of this live, which I'll get to in a minute, is why I stay to myself. So please don't take it personal. It's very, very hard, perhaps, and I don't mean to be funny. Perhaps some of you can't relate or can't understand, but it's just, it's just very, very hard. You know what I mean? To return emails. I get message. I pretty much get contacted on all my platforms, but the majority is emails. I get messages on Twitter. I get messages on all my 3 or 4 Facebook platforms. Even on Instagram, which I'm not huge on, but I get messages there. So please, I apologize. It's not intentional. Don't take it like that. It's not personal. I try to get back to people, and part of the whole live thing is so that we can have a little bit of, like, connection, so to speak. No pun intended. We're connected now, but also like a connection, because I do like to kick it. Let me remind folks like Alaska and folks that maybe, don't know, or new subscribers watching. And by the way, there's a lot of people that don't comment, that watch, and much respect to them too. Um, you know, Let me remind people why the channel has no comments, because me and my family have received threats, because Monroe County, New York area law enforcement has refused to do anything about it. My children have been threatened. My children have been stalked at their schools. There's been video of threats to my children, threats that local law enforcement has completely ignored. They've watched the videos, they've seen the videos, and they refuse to do anything about it. And this is an ongoing thing. It's nothing new. I'm not here to talk about it right now, but I guess I'm pressing home the point of why these live videos are important to me, because blocking comments on YouTube, where the trolls were getting in and they were harassing my supporters, in some cases looking up my supporters' Facebook pages. I don't talk about how bad it was, but in some cases, these trolls, these individuals who were stalking me and my family, these very disturbed individuals who are fixated and obsessed with me, because of the work that I do, it got so bad that they were stalking my supporters, all of you, folks like you right now. They were stalking them on Facebook, on YouTube, when I was allowing comments, to the point where they were looking up their names on Facebook and then grabbing their family's photos, grabbing their children's pictures, posting them to the internet with threats, harassing them, messaging them, especially on Facebook, threatening them for simply for their support of me and following this channel. So, that's why comments are blocked. But listen, let me get to it, because I'm not going to be on here long, as far as it's not going to be a real long live video. And once again, I appreciate everyone. I don't know why they have no life at all, to the point where they stalk you when only a small YouTuber. They're creepy. Absolutely. You know what I mean? And that just shows you how disturbed some folks are, that they'd rather, sit at home in their mom's basement or whatever, in their underwear or whatever, and Nothing wrong with living with mom, you know what I mean? So I'm not trying to offend anyone, but I'm saying these individuals have to be the lowest of the low. When you attack children, you know what I mean? When you target innocent children, based on something that their parents, or in my case, parent, me, is passionate about. Which, let's be honest, what is it? What I'm passionate about is upholding and exercising our constitutional rights, specifically our First Amendment protected right to record. So you have to be pretty disturbed to have an obsession and a fixation, some fatal attraction shit, for real, for real. Let's call it what it is, with another grown man, with an adult, okay? To the point that you have nothing better to do than stalk this person, not only online, and then threaten and stalk his supporters, but also take it to a level of stalking my children. Literally. There have been individuals who have sat outside my minor children's schools. Red says even the mafia left the family alone. They're psychotic. Of course. At least the mafia had certain codes, you know what I mean? And these individuals are just straight up losers. No morals, no ethics, no code at all. They're just plain disturbed. Wackles. Losers. Complete losers in every sense of the word. So I've had individuals literally sit outside my minor children's elementary school, and this was a few years ago. They're older now, and literally just watch me walk my children in, and then walk my children out of school, literally. And of course, when I try to reach out to law enforcement to document the incidents, because the particular individual involved in this thing that I'm describing, these incidents, and there were several times, because he was BFFs with the RPD, the RPD would absolutely refuse to do anything about it, not even a report. Listen, you guys and girls don't know half of it. You don't know what I go through. You don't know. You see this, bald-headed Cuban guy who's passionate about speaking out against abuse and who's passionate about informing and educating folks on their rights, specifically the First Amendment right to record. But you have absolutely no idea the stuff that I see, the stuff that I receive, the messages, the threats, the insults, the most disturbing and most disgusting things that you can tell another human being. You have no idea. And again, I'm not here to talk about that, but like when somebody reminded me that I don't get back to their emails and this and that, you have no idea whatsoever just how disturbed, how obsessed these individuals are. And just to give you a little preview, just to give you a little teaser so you can see for yourselves, please, not now, but once this live is over, go on my Twitter account, at Davy Vara. I have like 700 and something followers. So go on there. In other words, make sure you're on the right one. And you will see a pinned tweet. You know what a pinned tweet is, right? Like a pinned comment that you leave on top. Click on that pinned tweet. And Red Comment said, thanks, man. Click on that pinned tweet. And that is a tweet that I put up there that I retweeted, that I received. And I must have pinned that tweet months and months ago. And look at the disturbing profile of that particular individual who says something along the lines of, I stalk Davy V 365/24, like whatever, 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. Comments like, I'm sitting outside your house. You have no idea. And, the only reason that I even put stuff like that on Twitter is, again, to be clear about it. And even this right here that you guys are seeing is documentation. The only reason I tweet these or retweet or whatever or post these messages is because local law enforcement, again, has completely refused. In essence, they've enabled these individuals who have stalked me and my children and threatened me and my family. And that's the only reason that I've done it, as a means to document these behaviors. Because the crazy thing is that, because when the people who are supposedly, right, think about this for a second, and try to make it relate to you and your lives if you were going through this. When the individuals who swore an oath to serve and protect, okay, including me, I'm a citizen, you know what I mean? Obviously, I'm not entitled to that same service and protection. But when you can't even turn to the individuals whose job it is to, keep citizens safe, when you and your family are being threatened by psychos, think about that. Just let that marinate in you, and let that process in you. And think about how fucked up it is when you can't depend on the individuals whose job it is to protect you and your family. Think about that. All right, moving on. Enough of that. I'm not going to read any comments for a minute, so hold off on comments if you want to shout out or you want to respond or something. So basically, here's the point of this video tonight. A couple of weeks ago, maybe close to a couple weeks ago, I posted a video about a local activist, okay? Brian Keene, okay? Local activist in the Rochester, New York area, who had posted a very disturbing comment about the Puerto Rican festival in Rochester, New York. And basically, he posted the comment, not on my channel, because I don't allow comments, obviously, they're blocked. Again, for the whole safety thing I went into, which I'm not going to go into again. But he posted a comment on Bullet SpongeBob's channel, okay? Bullet SpongeBob's, you may be familiar with him. He interviewed me a few weeks ago. I interviewed him afterwards. He's a First Amendment auditor in the Rochester, New York area. So Brian Keene basically posted a comment on a video that Bullet SpongeBob posted to his channel. A video where it shows several Rochester, New York police officers on loudspeaker with a recorded or pre-recorded message, which was in both Spanish and English, on Rochester's northeast side, specifically Clinton Avenue, right near Upper Falls. And it was the day of the Puerto Rican festival, the evening. Before the festival was over, they were basically forcing, basically, better way to say it, citizens into their homes. United States of America, Rochester, New York, not Nazi Germany, not Cuba. United States of America, Rochester, New York. American police in full uniform were forcing citizens into their homes on North Clinton Avenue in the city. Those from Rochester know what I'm talking about. And those not from Rochester, like I said, it's the northeast side of the city, and it's basically the Latino neighborhood, predominantly Puerto Rican and African American neighborhood, but a strong concentration of Latinos on the northeast side, specifically on Clinton Avenue, also known as La Avenida. Shout out, saludo a todos mis boricuas en Rochester, La Clinton Avenue, La Joseph, todo el 14621. Mucho saludo a toda mi gente boricua. Got to give a little shout out in Spanish. I don't get to talk a lot of Spanish on here. So basically, Bullet SpongeBob posted the video, and Brian Keene pretty much immediately after the video being posted, commented a very disturbing comment directed at Puerto Ricans, saying that the murder rate in Rochester, New York goes up every time the Puerto Rican festival comes, which is absolutely not true. Not only is it not true, if in fact it were true, it has absolutely no connection, no correlation whatsoever to the Puerto Rican festival. The worst thing that happens after the Puerto Rican festival, for those of you not from Rochester or not familiar, is the following. After the festival, and it has nothing to do with the folks that go to the festival, it's a specific, crowd, many times younger crowd, more often than not, that basically take the celebrations from the festival, the last day of the festival, which is usually on a Sunday, and take it to the streets. They're a little loud, they beep horns, honk horns a lot, they burn some rubber on some corners with the tires, and they wave huge Puerto Rican flags. A lot of it is the pride. Puerto Rico's been through a lot. They were devastated by the hurricane. Our so-called president right now, number 45, basically took his sweet time to bring relief to the country, to the state, basically to the associated state, Puerto Rico. It's American territory. They're Americans. It's not a third world country. It's not Cuba. It's an American uh, territory. So basically, let me not get off track here. So basically, what happened was Bullet SpongeBob posted a video. Brian Keene made some very disparaging comments against the Puerto Rican community, and I immediately denounced it. Now, everybody here is supposed to be adults, and everyone has a right to express their opinion. I could care less. But when you're gonna speak out your mouth about something that is a lie, and when you're gonna malign and defame a culture of people, okay, specifically the Puerto Rican community here in Rochester, and basically blame homicides on a few late night revelers who take the party from the Puerto Rican festival to the streets because they're happy, because they're proud of their heritage, they're proud of their culture. And when you do something like that and basically equate Puerto Ricans to homicides going up in Rochester, New York, which is absolutely not true, then obviously I have to ask, there's a reason. There's something underlying that would make you do that. Perhaps you're racist. Perhaps you hold some ill feelings towards the Puerto Rican community here in Rochester. So I called it out. And as quick as I am to call out dirty, corrupt cops, I'm quick to call out so-called hypocrite activists. And earlier on, there was a comment which basically said, I try to take a screenshot of the comment because I can't, I'm in the zone right now, so I'm not really going to be reading comments, but just give me a few minutes. If you guys want to, and girls want to say something, I'll take some comments at the end. So somebody posted a comment, I forget who, at the very beginning, somebody commented on this live that there's a lot of hypocrite, racist activists and channels trying to pass off as activists, as true meaning genuine activists. And I've seen that more and more and more. And listen, let me say something right now. This is not about bad-mouthing anyone. This is not about putting myself on a pedestal and putting somebody else down. But again, if I have done this, which I have for 20 plus years of calling out dirty, corrupt cops, of calling out corruption, of advocating for the First Amendment right to record, and I've exposed countless cops, how am I then going to sit back and ignore so-called activists who are using the I stand for the right and for the right thing, and I'm against police abuse, and I denounce police misconduct? And then they're nothing but hypocrites, and they're nothing but two-faced, and they have these little hidden agendas. And that is the reason which I bring it back full circle, why I don't associate with any of these so-called activists, so-called groups, and that is the reason why I am. And for the most part, I say for the most part because at one point I did write for several sites, which I'm not going to mention, until I quickly started to see that hypocrisy, that double standard, that agenda that they had. And then I realized that there's a reason why, much like my dad, Mario Vara, in the 1980s, who was a police accountability activist here, and one of the first cop watchers, a pioneer in cop watching. In fact, I mentioned it in a couple videos, the Fader magazine, which is a huge music publication, just not even a couple years ago, they wrote an article called the Cop Watchers. I'll put the link on this video after it's done. They wrote about cop watching, and they mentioned my dad. 23 years. This is 2 years ago. He's been gone 25. So at the time of the article, it was 23 years since my dad has been gone, and they're still writing about him. That's what you call a fucking legend. So I can't sit back and ignore hypocrisy and double standard and these hidden agendas. Like someone said at the beginning, I apologize who mentioned it. I apologize, I forgot who it was, that there's a lot of channels with these agendas and these hidden, like I said, hidden agendas when they're really racist, you know what I mean? And they're pretending to be something else. So what happened was, let me take sorry, Red, I took a screenshot of your comment, brother, because I can't read it now. So what happened was, Here's the thing, and again, it's not about calling somebody out or not, but I basically let Bullet SpongeBob know that I did not appreciate his friend because Brian Keene is his friend. I don't know Brian Keene. I've never met Brian Keene, and I don't care to meet him. Again, there's no reason for me to affiliate or meet any of these people. We're not one big happy family. Activists have different backgrounds. A lot of you know my story. I'm a second generation activist. My dad was a pioneer in the 1980s, recording cops with a huge VHS camcorder long before YouTube, long before the internet, long before smartphones. So again, I've always been a one-man show for the most part, and there's no need for me to affiliate with any of these people. Ain't none of them doing nothing for me, and I don't need any of them to do my thing because I've always done my thing because I row independently. So I don't need anyone to do what I do. I'm not trying to sound like an asshole. I've been open. I'm a very approachable person. I'm approached in public all the time. I'm not an asshole. I take pictures with people if they want. I mean, I'm not trying to come across as a jerk. Okay, what I'm trying to show everyone is that I'm very passionate about what I believe in, what my dad believed in, and I'm not. This is like a lot of people are not built for this shit. I'm real with what I believe in, and I'm not afraid to stand up for what I believe in. Obviously, I just said earlier, my family has been threatened, my children have been threatened, and yet when you believe in something, and when you don't get paid for something, because this channel is not even monetized, and it never will be. I have no intention of monetizing it. I don't care if I had 100,000 subscribers. I'm not in this for the money. I don't get paid for this. And to me, that is the ultimate form of being genuine with something when you don't do it for a paycheck. It's easy if you're getting donations and if you're pandering to people and you're willing to tap dance for people, right? And tell them what they want to hear. No offense to anyone watching right now. I could care less if all of you watching right now would unsubscribe. And I don't mean it. I don't mean it as a disrespect to anyone. I appreciate each and every one of you. But what I'm saying is I'm not in this for the likes. I'm not in this for the comments. I'm not in this for the revenue. This is something that's very real to me. This is something that my family has been through a lot. My dad went through a lot. My dad committed suicide behind RPD intimidation. The Rochester, New York Police Department made his life hell. Again, in the 1980s, where they would beat down people just for looking at them wrong. Before cell phones, before you could point and shoot and upload a video to YouTube, there was no YouTube. There was no Facebook. There was no internet like there is today. There were no smartphones. You know what I mean? So what I'm trying to say is this. I have, as much as I dislike, okay, I try not to use the word hate. It's a very, nasty word. As much as I dislike, okay, and I'm disgusted by dirty cops and crooked officials and politicians, public officials and politicians, I'm also disgusted by anyone who claims to get into this activism work, into this activism passion, who claims to stand for the right thing, who claims to stand against police misconduct, who claims to stand against abuse of power by elected and public officials, and yet they're two-faced, and they have these hidden agendas, okay? Now, here's where I'm going with it. I let Bullet SpongeBob know that I did not appreciate the comment of his friend, and, I got to be honest here. Bullet Sponge, from the beginning, he was very, he was responsive, He let me know that he didn't approve of the comment either, and he would address it. Then I saw he didn't really address it with him, and the comment, he simply took the comment off. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. And again, this is not a personal, trying to put anyone down. But the way that I believe is, if you say something, okay, or if something's posted on your channel and it's somebody that you know, don't delete the comment. Don't delete the video. Don't help the person, okay? Don't help the person by deleting it and in essence letting them escape, accountability. Hold their feet to the fire, meaning address it and address it publicly. If you run any public platform like YouTube, like my blog, like Facebook, and it's your page and your particular platform where you are supposed to have control, right? If it's your page. And if you allow anyone to post any disturbing, racist, prejudice, disparaging remarks or comments against a person or a group of people, okay, then you need to own that. Like you need to take full responsibility, especially not only because it's your platform, but especially if that is a person that you know. Especially if that is an individual who you have hit the streets of Rochester with to do First Amendment audits, to record police. Then I'm sorry, you can't defend that person by simply deleting their comment and expect that it's all going to be okay because, oh, okay, poof, it's gone. No, that's not how it works. You need to address it. You need to take accountability. You need to fucking own that shit. Straight up, you need to own it. That's you, that's your platform, and that's your man. Own that shit, okay? I'm not pulling no punches on this one, y'all. Own it. I always say, this is my real face. Ain't no mask here. Cowards wear masks. You know what I mean? People that truly believe and have a passion for what they believe in and are not afraid to stand up for what they believe in, they use their real names. They use their real profile photos. My YouTube photo just happens to be me and the great Mike Tyson because that's how I got it, right? That's Mike Tyson's my man. That's all. But, you know, I'm in the picture. I'm not hiding behind some anonymous profile name. I'm not hiding behind some photo of some, like, whatever, cartoon character or some shit. This is me. This is who you see. And the only reason I'm wearing a hat is because I haven't shaved my head. Ginger ale break. Hold on. Work with me. Give me a second. Refreshing. Red, you still with me, Red? Red said he used to drink Mountain Dew straight to the head out the 2-liter. Wow. Red used to drink that really, really sweet stuff. Mountain Dew. I got to be in the mood for Mountain Dew. I can't even tell you the last time I had Mountain Dew. Code Red. Oh, shit. Red said Code Red. Wow. Hold on. Let me take some snapshots here. If y'all hear that camera thing, is I'm just taking some pictures of some of these comments so I can go through them later. So listen, here's part 2 of the whole thing about owning something. So earlier today, Bullet SpongeBob, okay, posted a video on his channel of an older woman, I don't know, white woman, I'm just trying to describe her, I don't even know her name. Some older woman, like with a New York accent, I'm not sure if she's from New York City. And basically, Red, by the way, Red, you there? Red, I'm going to make you a moderator. Red, you with me? You ain't off the live yet, are you? I think I'm going to make Red a moderator. And he's going to help me block some of these trolls who, as we speak, are spewing. Yep, Red said, yeah, here. My brother, I don't mean to drop it on you or whatever or put you on the spot, but me and you are going to chop it up. I think I'm going to make you a moderator. You're going to help me block some of these trolls out here while I'm doing my thing. You're going to be like the hype man. I'm like Chuck D. You're going to be like my Flavor Flav. You're going to be the hype man holding it back, holding it down, you know? Not but for real, I need like a moderator to kind of, you know, control things on here. Anyways, so he posted a video of a woman who went on a rant, and this is where I'll probably end up losing a few of you subscribers. And before you unsubscribe, I'm just going to tell you, it's been real. You know, I'm sorry. If you don't like my honesty, if you don't like, Red said, got you, fam. If you don't like my honesty, if you don't like my bluntness, my realness, I always say you can go on down the yellow brick road of YouTube land and you could pick any one of millions or millions of channels that will tap dance for you, that will accept your donations, and that will tell you exactly what you want to hear. because you won't find that fucking shit on this channel. So if my following stance, which is about to get real here in a second, offends anyone to the point that you want to unsubscribe, don't let the door hit you in your ass. So the video was a woman who's a Trump supporter. I told you shit's about to get real, y'all. Who's a Trump supporter. And she was basically, I'm not going to repeat what she was saying, but it was basically like, it was basically like an infomercial for Trump. Okay? That's what basically you want to call it. And SpongeBob posted it on his channel. And then I'm going to be honest, because I'm open about me and my dealings, and there's no reason to hide it. I reached out to SpongeBob, and I basically told him I'm not going to share the exact personal message, but I basically made it known to him because, again, not only should you own something, but if in life, if you have an issue with someone, there's a way to address it and a way to basically tell them, listen, you have a right to do that, and you have a right to post whatever you want to post on your channel, but I'm going to keep it real with you, or like the new generation says, I'm going to keep it 100 with you, and I'm going to let you know that I don't get down like that. So I can't support you if you out here supporting an individual who has refused to denounce hatred, racism, killings, and police misconduct in our great country. So any Trump supporters that are on this channel now and you want to unsubscribe, see you. I could care less. Literally, I could care less. So, you know, he messaged me back, well, you know, the woman, and I don't support this. And listen, here's the thing. Long story short, he removed the video, which is number one sign that you, in some way, shape, or form, have something to hide. I would much rather have somebody tell me, yeah, I support Trump. And that's fine. Listen, before those that have an agenda twist and turn what I'm trying to say here. Oh, Davy, that's great. So if I have a different political belief than you, then I'm not welcome on your channel. No. What I'm talking about is this. There is no way, and no one will convince me otherwise. There is no fucking way that if you, on one hand, claim to stand against police misconduct and abuse and abuse of power, and claim to stand for the Constitution of the United States, there's no way in hell, and no one will ever convince me otherwise, that you can also, on the other hand, stand for and support number 45. There's no way. And I'll tell you why, simply because I'm not going to make this a political debate, because I really don't owe anyone an explanation. But I'm going to tell you in simple terms so that everyone could understand. The individual that we have running this country right now, running it into the ground actually, has refused, not only has divided this country more than anyone has ever divided this country, okay, has stirred up a certain population in this country, which is only about 30-40%. The thing with number 45 and his frustration is this. He knows that he only has about 30 to 40%, if that, of the country. That's it. But those 30 to 40% are so down with him, are so, committed to him, that he's right. What he said one day is true. He could literally stand in the middle of Times Square and shoot someone, like he said. It's amazing that the person that is running this country right now, like I said, into the ground, actually said this, along with, all his misogynistic comments about what he would do to women and what he's done to women. And that's how twisted people are. It's like everyone's fine with it. Oh, no, that's okay. That's locker room talk. It's all good. So the individual who is running this country, let me break it down for you. For any so-called activists out here watching this, whether you're watching it now or you're watching it later, the individual who is running this country as we speak gives two shits, if that, about my rights or your rights. Let me break it down again for any so-called activists out here claiming to stand for claiming to stand against police misconduct and for police accountability. The individual who is running this country right now has refused to denounce abuse of power and innocent people getting killed by trigger happy cops. Okay? The individual who is running this country right now refused to denounce the events in Charlottesville. Not only did he refuse, but then he actually defended, okay, white supremacists marching down Charlottesville streets with fucking tiki torches. Okay? So, look, I'm going to stop there and bring it back to my point. There's no way in hell that you or anyone else will ever convince me that you can, on one hand, claim to stand against police abuse and misconduct, but on the other, support number 45. There's no way. And I'll tell you my latest thing that is really disturbing about the individual running this country. Instead of trying to bring the country together and stop dividing us all, instead of giving praise where praise is due to the best, sorry, Michael Jordan, but, I'm probably going to piss some people off. Instead of praising the best basketball player in history, a great man, a great family man, a great husband, a great father, and a black man who, cares and loves his community so much of Akron, Ohio, enough to come back and build a school, the I Promise School in Akron, Ohio, to help inner city kids like he once was. Instead of praising that man and saying something along the lines of, we may have differences of opinions when it comes to politics, but let me tell you something. This is what Trump should be saying, or should have said. It's too late now, in my opinion. Instead of saying, I got to tip my hat off to LeBron James. I mean, what a great thing he's done in Akron, Ohio, bringing, a school to an inner city neighborhood where he grew up, to an inner city, where he grew up in Akron, and giving back to his community. A man who, like most celebrities, has absolutely no obligation to do anything like he just did in Akron. A man like all this bullshit that we see nowadays where the trending story is fucking Kim Kardashian selling $5 million worth of her perfume, selling out in 5 minutes. And that's all of a sudden the trending news story on Twitter. Yet there's this man, this great husband, this great father, this family man, this great athlete, this great person who unselfishly, through his foundation, which is another great thing he's done, is giving back. As somebody, let me tell you, as somebody who has met athletes of all walks of life and celebrities of all walks in life, from actors to athletes. You see the picture on my YouTube page of me and Mike Tyson. Not to put anyone down, and this is not about that, but I can give you some stories about some real jerk athletes and celebrities that I've met. Ones who won't even take the time of day to take 2 seconds out of their day to sign an autograph for a kid, for example. And here we have the greatest basketball player of all time. Again, if I piss someone off, my bad. Give me a second here. Here we have the greatest athlete, one of the greatest athletes, perhaps the greatest athlete of all time. No disrespect to anyone, but I love this man. I love LeBron James. And let me tell you something real quick, FYI. My sport is boxing, okay? Always has been. I've shared with some of y'all. You can see it on the video, on my other videos. A lot of my boxing memorabilia, signed autographs, signed magazines, signed boxing gloves, pictures with me and pictures with me and boxers, like the great Alexis Arguello, me and my son with the great Bert Sugar, you know, uh, my son with Manos de Piedra, Hands of Stone, Roberto Duran, uh, you know, me, my son, and Alexis Arguello. So boxing is and always has been and always will be my favorite sport. In the 90s, like some of you maybe, that are old enough to remember, Michael Jordan was the shit. I had all his sweatsuits, all his latest sneakers. Um, I loved Michael Jordan. But, you know, I wasn't really into basketball. I sucked at playing basketball in the hood where I grew up, Ghost Town 585. Shout out to J Street. Shout out to Chow Street. Shout out to Campbell Street Rec Center. That's where I basically stayed after school. At the rec center, they did so much for kids in the 1980s here in Rochester, New York, and that's where I would be that one cool ass Latino kid in the hood, right? Mostly, most of my friends were African American, were black, and they would pick me when they were like a man short. And the only reason they would pick me is because I'm not gonna lie, I did have a really nice 3-point shot. That's all I had. I couldn't dribble really in. I couldn't come in for layups. I sucked at all that. I never really was a basketball player. But for some reason, I was like 80% from the 3-point line. And it was pretty much money. You know what I mean? So basically, I was that kid that if they were short a man, I would get picked. And it didn't hurt my feelings. It didn't really offend me because I know I pretty much sucked anyways. But I did, but I did have something about it. I just made that shot 80% of the time. And I'm not bullshitting. If anyone's watching that remembers me from the hood, from Campbell Street, they can vouch for it. But anyways, so let me be honest about something, okay? I got into basketball. I have two sons and a daughter, but my one son is the athlete. He plays basketball. He used to box. He used to, he played football since he was 6, so he's like the jock of the family, the sports guy, sports kid. And basically, I got into basketball and I got into LeBron and Curry and everything even more so, through watching sports and whatnot with my son. That's one of our pastimes, with my one son. We watch basketball and we follow LeBron, and he particularly likes the Warriors. I like Cleveland. I like wherever LeBron is at. When he was with Miami, So my thing is, I could care less about LeBron James' basketball skills, even though I know he's basically the best in the world. I could care less about it. To be honest, what I like so much and what I've always respected about athletes is not even how they are in their sport. If it's a boxer, it's not so much how they are in the ring. If it's a basketball player, it's not so much how they are on the court. Okay? It's who they are as a person. And I've always been the type of person to look at how athletes and how celebrities and how these multi-millionaires, okay, how they handle themselves in their private lives. And I know that may sound a little weird, right? Like, well, their private life is none of your business. But what I mean is, here, let me get to the point. What I mean is that what I like so much about LeBron James, okay, is first of all, he's with the same woman who was his high school sweetheart. You know what I mean? He is and that's big because we live in a world where there's a lot of gold diggers. There's a lot of women who are just trying to get with, rich men just for the money. And so to me, this is just me. Maybe some of y'all will laugh at me or whatever. I'm being a little bit melodramatic here, whatever you may think. That's fine. You can disagree. But one of the things I like so much about LeBron James is that the fact that it's a beautiful thing to have married your high school sweetheart. You know what I mean? And to have, children with your high school sweetheart. And to have the same woman who was with you when you were broke and when you didn't have shit. To have that same woman by your side 20 plus years later. Still ride or die with you when you're on top of the world. That has to be a great fucking feeling to know that the woman by your side and the mother of your kids is not with you for the money. regardless of what anyone says. And the proof, in my opinion, is that she was with you from day one. So that's one of the biggest things I like about him, okay? I don't care. Listen, I don't care what anyone does. I don't know him personally. I could care less about it, you know what I mean? I know what I've heard, what I see is that he's a great husband, a devoted father, and that's all that I need to know, that this is a good man. But yet, what does number 45 do? He trashes this man. He insults this man's intelligence. He puts him down. And he race baits because he knows that his 30 to 40%, many of whom are straight up racist, he knows that he needs to maintain that support and that following. Okay? So listen, guys and girls, I know I've gotten a little bit off track here, but let me try to rope it back in. Let me try to bring it back in and clean it up here. Not clean it up, but bring it to the point that I'm making. I'm tired of seeing these so-called activists pretend that they stand for one thing, and in reality, they're like these closet prejudice or racist. I'm not trying to call out anyone in specific. I'll tell you what, and we have a saying in Spanish too. If the shoe fits, wear that motherfucker. If the shoe fits, wear it. That's who I'm talking to. Only you know what's in your mind. And if what I'm saying hurts any so-called activists out there, then you need to take a long ass look in the mirror and ask yourself, why did what Davy V say in his video hurt me? And perhaps you're going to discover something about yourself. But I'm sick and tired of seeing people use and misuse something that me and my family have been through so much, from the death of my dad, okay, 25 years ago, last month, to stuff that I've been through with my family, to having these obsessed, disturbed individuals stalk me and my children and threaten me and my family because they'll do anything they can to take away my right as an American. You know, I gotta laugh because I get all these messages always. Go back to Cuba, calling me a spick, calling me a wetback. I'm an American. I was born right here. I'm actually in my hometown. I was born down the fucking street. So again, I'm disgusted by these so-called activists and these individuals who claim to stand for one thing, but on the other hand, are actually quite the contrary, quite the opposite. And do me a favor, when you post a video and then someone like me calls you out on the video and calls you out on your belief and basically tells you that I can't associate with you and I can't support you or your channel or your work, okay? Do me a favor. Own that shit. Own the video. Meaning, don't remove the video from your channel. What is it with these people that they believe, oh shit, I fucked up. Let me get rid of the video. Why? Why? You posted it in the first place. You knew what you were doing when you posted it. Keep it up there. Why did you delete it? Why did you remove the video? Why? Keep it on there. You knew what you were doing when you posted and uploaded the video. You stood for what the video was saying, the video was representing. You supported that shit. You uploaded it. So why would you remove it? And again, I'll tell y'all something. One of the favorite things I remember my pops, Mario Vara, used to say. And some of you, I know Red, you still with me? I know Red knows this saying very good. Okay, by the way, Red rarely misses a live. No offense to anyone else. I know it's hard for some folks to catch it. I don't mean anything personal. But the reason I'm laughing is because, you know, Red rarely ever misses a live. So my dad used to say, if you listen, if you listen, if you listen, if you look, if you look, if you watch, what people are saying More often than not, people will tell on themselves. This goes for relationships, not to make anyone paranoid that's watching this video, but if you're a woman and you think your man is cheating, listen, watch. In Spanish, oye, 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 mira, mira, mira. Okay? And vice versa. If you're a man and you think your wife is cheating on you, or girlfriend, or boyfriend, listen, oye, watch, mira. Because more often than not, the clues are right there in our face. It's just that most folks don't capture them. Most folks are not really listening and they're not really watching. People constantly tell on themselves. It's a fact. It's human nature. The question is not, do they tell on themselves? The question is, will you be smart enough? Will you be sharp enough? Will you hear it? Will you see it when they tell on themselves? What's my point? My point is, by you deleting a video which supports an individual who does not stand for accountability, who does not truly stand for Americans' right to free speech, who does not stand to denounce police abusing their powers, and then you try to backstep and say, no, but, I just no, I didn't mean anything bad by it, and then I turn around and you delete the video? Why? Why would you delete it? Why? Listen, thank you each and every one for tuning in. And again, you have to listen, you have to watch. Because 9 times out of 10, people will end up telling on themselves. Thank each and every one of you for tuning in. Peace.